What's good, y'all? It's Pod.cannion. I'm back with another reaction video. Today we have another xevi video. It's been a little minute since we watched xevi. He been damn like shout out xevi. Like he really been coming up, and it's crazy like seeing him come up while like we've been reacting to him. Um, Condolences. He did lose his mom last year, but you know what I'm saying, like I empathize with that, but like, you know what I'm saying, like the fact that he's still going, the fact that he's still like making moves, doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? I know that shit ain't easy. So like, you know what I'm saying? I salute a nigga like this, bro. And like he actually be like any medium who like keeps us informed with the news going on, you know what I'm saying? It's important and it will show like how important it was like when people look back at history. So, you know what I'm saying? Salute to you, man. We gonna keep watching this video, you know what I'm saying? If y'all like the video, like it. Subscribe if you're new. Cause we really gotta tap in. Like, you know what I'm saying? 3 million files dropped 2 days ago, something like that. So yeah, you gotta be tapped in. Cause when you realize the amount of people who are in power that we are just letting this shit slide by, acting like these aren't actual facts. Now that we have evidence, it's not like allegedly. Well, we can still say allegedly, but like, let's be so for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop giving these people that much power and lie to our face. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe what we're telling you. Like, absolutely not. So, this is something that we need to keep on pushing. I know that there's a lot of crazy things happening in society, but when we realize the amount of people who are in power right now who are disgusting, despicable human beings, we will realize that we got to change some shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to actually prosecute these disgusting people. I got to get him off my screen because if you know what's in there, oh gosh. If you've already known what's in there, honestly. But yeah, if y'all like the video, like, subscribe. You know all we do is chill over here. With that being said, let's get into the video.
Happy files, namely the big names that you probably know that are in the documents. Donald Trump, of course, in the documents. William Gates, aka Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Pusha T. And then we're going to talk about some dude named Howard that's named in the documents. You probably don't know him, but you will after this. But first, to understand all of this, what you have to know is the Department of Justice under Donald Trump had a problem. You see, United States Congress passed a law saying, y'all got to release those files. The department.
And this is the thing that a lot of people are not talking about. Is the only reason why they released the files is because they were put. It was by law. And the fact of the matter is they still didn't even put it out on time. They dropped all of these shits a month after the fact. They were already supposed to be transparent with the files, and even still there's like 3 million other files that they ain't dropped yet. I guess you can guess why, because it's bad. It gets so bad. Like, it's actually like a different level of disgusting, the amount of stuff that you're starting to see on there. And it's like, it's different when, like, because we talk about Epstein files, Epstein Island so much. So it takes away from the actual reality of how disgusting and how, like, horrible all that shit that was happening was. But, like, when you actually see, and it's crazy. Like, another thing that got confirmed is, like I feel like it's 100% right now, but we can still, like, put some speculation. But the Pizzagate conspiracy, y'all was right about that junk. Like, the amount of times they talk about pizza and it doesn't align with pizza, but it aligns with something else. Like, you realize the type of people these were. And does he talk about Elon in this? If he doesn't talk about Elon in this, I'm frying Elon myself. But we're about to, you know what I'm saying?
All the files? Congress said, yup. Did I stutter? So after a bunch of stalling, the Department of Justice said, okay,
a bunch of stalling.
Here's half the documents. And that's what you got. Those were the files that were recently released. 3 million pages out of 6 million pages.
We got 3 million
said,
more.
Didn't we say release all the documents? The Department of Justice excuse was they're trying to protect victims. I'm not even going to insult you with the Department of Justice.
No, thank you. Thank you. Because we don't care what the Department of Justice says because they're lying. They've been lying this whole time. Because if y'all remember right, 6 months ago, they tried to tell us there were no files at all. A year ago, they tried to tell us we have the files on our desk, but we're going to give it up. And then when they realized just how Trump was one of the top people who was within the Epstein Island touching kids, being a PDF file, they realized, oh no, since we are Trump's lapdog, since we are bootlickers of this, we have to lie and come on, y'all. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all know what I'm saying, bro. Like, come on.
Reasons for not releasing the other half of the files. But let's just say Congress is apparently trying to get the rest of the files released. But in this half of the files, like we said earlier, you got some big names, starting with Elon. Now, remember, Elon Musk said, I ain't never spoke to that dude Epstein. He tried to invite me to the island. I said, no. Donald Trump, though, y'all should check on him. Well, turns out, in the files, there is email correspondence between Elon and Jeff Epps. Elon basically saying, yo, when can
Let
I
me to
fall
the
through to
party.
the island? When
Let
can
me
I pull up?
Get me to
Elon
the
emailing
island.
him year after year. And this is after it came out that Jeff Epps was committing those.
Oh yeah, he knew. He said, let me go to your craziest party, Epstein. Let me go to your craziest party. And then Epstein forwarded Elon's message to Ghislaine, who is the main handler. He was like, yo, handle this. Thank you. And then Ghislaine was like, oh, we don't do those type of parties anymore, even though they do. That just shows the level of weird and bitch that Elon Musk is, because even a weird ass pedophile didn't want to hang out with Elon Musk bitch ass. I'm just saying. That's
heinous crimes. And I want you to take special note of that, because here's a side note. Jeff Epps, around 2005, that's when it came out that he was committing heinous acts. That's when you see a bunch of billionaires and politicians come out and say, oh, that's when I stopped talking to him. 2005, 2008, that's when I cut him off. But again, Elon hitting him up like 2012 saying, yo, it's Christmas time. Can I come to, Elon saying this, the wildest parties you got? What's the wildest parties you got? He said, me and my wife, his wife at the time, trying to pull up. And what's kind of embarrassing, when Elon last messaged Jeff Epps, Elon was like, yo, man, can't wait. Is the heli coming? Like, Jeff Epps responded to him saying, look, man, I'm not finna be at the island this year. Like, you can't come. I'm going to be in New York. Boy got rejected by a weirdo. Elon, tripping. And speaking of tripping, let's talk about William.
Rejected by a weirdo.
And told y'all about William. So according to the files, Jeff Epps is basically like drafting an email to himself, detailing the stuff about William Gates, saying William Gates messes with Russian girls. He's stepping out on his wife with these Russian girls, and with these Russian girls,
who he's now divorced to, for obvious reasons,
got a disease with.
Yo, Bill Gates' ex-wife probably has a fucking bag. Holy.
He then gave to his wife, and now he wants Jeff Epps to give antibiotics to his wife secretly. And he said, whole time Bill Gates over here, tears in his eye.
TDLR, Bill Gates got burned for messing with hookers in, you know what I'm saying, other Epstein type stuff. He realizes, oh snap, I got burnt. I'm gonna give this off to my wife. Jeff Epps, can you please give me some antibiotics to secretly give to my wife so she doesn't know I was cheating? That's the type of thing that he did. You know what I'm saying? He was a Mossad or a Israeli central intelligence, you know what I'm saying, intelligence person. So his main goal was to get blackmail, you know what I'm saying, for these powerful individuals like Trump, like Bill Gates, like, he didn't even want Elon Musk. That's the craziest thing about it. He had so much power. He said, nah, we're good. We don't even need to blackmail Elon Musk. But he puts these things to blackmail them so that these powerful people in position can do exactly what Israel wants. It runs so deep, because Jeffrey Epstein was just one cog in the machine. Like, when you really think about it. Like, I know it's crazy to think about, because this shit was so bad. This shit is so fucked up. This shit is so, like, bad. But it's like, y'all realize he was just the cog in the machine. That's why there's people like Harvey Weinstein. That's why there's people like Diddy who are not even associated with the shit that Jeffrey Epstein was doing, but he was still in his own category of weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll talk about Jay-Z and Pusha T, quote unquote, getting put in the Epstein files. But when I did my research in that, I quickly found out, like, This shit doesn't make any sense, and I'll explain why if he doesn't explain it.
He's trying to beg me this and that. Boy, stop it. If you could cry, you can walk to the bank. Because the only way I ain't telling nobody about this is if you give me a house. Jeff Epstein loved him some blackmail. Now, mind you, Bill Gates denies all this stuff. Elon Musk denies this stuff. But it's kind of tough to deny because these are emails.
These are actual FBI documents. You watching this video, if you go on the FBI website and look up, like, my nigga, like I'm just saying, like, okay, I'm gonna charge this laptop soon, cause like, I already know this stuff. I've already read the documents for a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making comments on them. So yes, Bill Gates, weirdo. I'm about to get the charger. Y'all gonna watch this video real quick.
FBI acquired. Now, here's why I said that, because here's where things start to get wicked. What I just told you about Bill Gates and Elon Musk is regarding what they found in Jeffrey Epstein's emails. But Donald Trump, Pusha T, and Jay-Z, who we're about to talk about right now, they don't show up in emails. They show up in allegations. Basically, people coming out and saying, yo, I saw Donald Trump, Jay-Z, Pusha T doing this. I saw them when I went to this party and that party. Donald Trump shows up a lot. People detailing in graphic account what they were told to do with Donald Trump. People detailing the fact that Donald Trump had wild parties of his own. As for Pusha T and Jay-Z, it's a similar situation. Okay. But
boom. So, okay, I got right at the Pusha T and Jay-Z thing, which is kind of the other thing I was trying to talk about with y'all, is, like, I take all these allegations very seriously. So when I heard that Pusha T and Jay-Z were on them, now, don't get me wrong, someone like Jay-Z, I was more inclined to believe before Pusha T. But the thing is, with a lot of these accusations, you realize that they don't make any fucking sense if you know how these artists' career went and the trajectory of it. So we'll talk about Jay-Z first, real quick. Just real quick. Jay-Z, when you realize his first, like, huge big album was in 1998, right? That means before 1998, Jay-Z was a underground artist. He was let me think. What's his name? Jazzo? Something like that. It was something like another like iteration of Jay-Z. He pretty much was like that guy's hype man. You know what I'm saying? And then near the late you know what I'm saying, the 90s and the early 2000s, that's when Jay-Z got his break. In the Epstein files, they say that Jay-Z in 1994 was in the same room as Harvey Weinstein. Nigga, that shit makes zero fucking sense, because Jay-Z was not famous or worth a damn in 1994. I'm just saying. And then with Pusha T, they try to say around that same circle, he was a handler for drugs and shit like that to drug the victims, just because Pusha T is famous with making, like, you know what I'm saying, the Coca-Cola rap and shit like that. But when you realize that Pusha T became famous around like the early 2000s, which the early 2000s is also around the same time that Jeffrey, you know what I'm saying, got convicted for messing with children. That shit makes zero sense that Pusha T would do that, especially having his brother Malice in the same circle with him. Who is like when y'all actually use your brain to the allegations, and the here's another thing that is actually crazy with all of this, is there are no other records of Jay-Z or Pusha T being in the same room with Jeffrey Epstein when these are supposed to be the Jeffrey Epstein files. All that is of them being in these files is an anonymous tip line to the FBI that the FBI themselves didn't even feel like it was worthy to investigate. Now, here's the reason they put them in the files, right? If they say, okay, we need some powerful figures for the people in this space to talk about that takes the real attention of people like Donald Trump and the actual people who did some weird ass shit in these files. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of worked to a certain extent. These people are talking about, ooh, Jay-Z's in the files? Pusha T's in the files? Drake's in the files? Eminem's in the files? Like, they're doing all these rappers, and don't get me wrong, some of these rappers are a little bit weird. But the fact of the matter is, we are talking about different levels of weird here. And the thing is, with Jeffrey Epstein, I just have to say it as plain as possible, because a lot of the things that he's done has been desensitized to the people. He was a PDF file. He preferred children when he was trafficking women. That is just the fact of the matter of who he was as a person. So for y'all to, like, I am more inclined to believe that Jay-Z would be, both Jay-Z and Pusha T, honestly, would be in a space with Diddy before they would be in a space with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, there's levels to this shit. There's different, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say, like, with them trying to put this together, they're just going off of certain stuff that is already known to the public, so that people who don't really think more than twice can be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, there are a lot of pictures of Jay-Z with Harvey Weinstein. Obviously, Pusha T is known with his artistry of talking about certain substances. So they just put those two things that people already know about these artists together and think, oh yeah, this, that, and the third. Don't believe anything else. Because the fact of the matter is, until I get more information about both of these people, it's just speculation. It's just a distraction from the bigger fact of the matter. And we need those other 3 million files, because this shit was disgusting. This shit was horrible. They talked about killing certain, like, victims. Oh gosh, like, it gets bad.
As far as we know, they show up one time in the files with one accuser saying, 1994, she saw Jay-Z at a party, Harvey Weinstein with...
Once again, I want y'all to name me one hit Jay-Z had in 1994 to get him in the same room with Harvey Weinstein. No, deadass. Comments down below if you know, because on me, I don't think so.
There, and they both...
That shit makes no sense.
And how they got to these parties in the first place is because of people like Pusha T, who...
Once again, when the fuck was Pusha T famous? It damn sure wasn't 1994. Now, before Pusha T was Pusha T was always Pusha T, but Pusha T was Clips before he became independent and became Pusha T. And that wasn't until 2008. You know what I'm saying? When Obama was in presidency. You know what I'm saying? Now, like this is why this shit is so frustrating. Because if you take more than 2 seconds to think about what people are saying, the shit makes no fucking sense. Makes no fucking sense at all.
The accuser called a handler. They go on to say Pusha T would give them stuff to make them really sleepy, and then they would wake up at these parties. Now, besides all the big names I mentioned to you, there are plenty of other names in these files. Many people in Donald Trump's inner circle. Politicians alike. But there's one politician I want to highlight for you, and that's Howard Lutnick, your Secretary of Commerce. You see, he was Jeff Epps' next door neighbor. So a few years back, I guess he felt like he had to explain himself. So he goes on and does an interview. This is when it was all popping about Jeff Epps. He came out and said, look, all that stuff about Jeff Epps in the news, just because I was his neighbor, let me start by saying I got nothing to do with it. And when I tell you, he was being this boy should be an actor. Should get an Oscar. Because he was furious.
That y'all would even think he would be a part of Jeffrey Epstein.
Don't mention my name with that man. The interviewer said, you serious? He said, damn straight. He said, let me tell y'all something. I went over to introduce myself to Jeff Epps. Me and my wife was there. We knocked on the door. We said, hello? Boom. Jeff Epps opened the door. We said, hey. We saw a massage table in the middle of the room. That was weird. So we said, Jeff Epps, you like getting massages or something? Jeff Epps leans over and says, I love massages, but he was weird with it. Like, we thought it was weird, me and my wife. And then we said, okay, Jeff, we're going to leave. We looked at each other and we promised we would never
never go back there
I just
again.
built a budgeting app
That's
for
what he's
phase
about to say,
44.
because that's what that dude said, and it obviously was capped because you're about to see. You're about to
Be in
see.
the same room with Jeff Epps. They found him in the files.
Yep.
They found our boy Howard in the files emailing Jeff Epps.
Damn near 100 times, by the way. Like, he was over there a lot.
Saying, when can I pull up? When can I pull up to the island? Matter of fact, dude's wife was emailing Jeff Epps too. Just in case you didn't get our last message, can we pull up? We finna bring our friends Mary and Matthew. They named them too. They said they trying to bring the whole fam. Can we pull up? I was guffawed when I tell you in his interview how passionate he was. And I said earlier,
Dude, like, dead ass. Like, that's the thing about these people. They gonna keep on lying until, not even, because the evidence will be right in their face and they'll still find a way to lie about it. Like, I've seen this shit. I've seen this shit countless times, bro. And it's like, this is why, like, to a certain extent, like, I be wanting to, like, you know what I'm saying? When a lot of y'all people be in the comments and y'all be disagreeing with me, it's like, I always want to, like, engage in the conversation genuinely and seriously. But there's a certain point where, like, I just understand that y'all, not even y'all, because, like, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, if y'all in this YouTube channel, y'all understand we be doing shit like that. But, like, I understand that a lot of people, especially on the right, are practically incapable of introspection, of actually looking at themselves and other people objectively. And they have, a lot of people have these set standards. They're like, okay, if this person says it, why would they be lying? What would this person have, what reason would this person have to lie? And then you have to be like, do I really have to break this down for you? Do I really have to explain to you what benefit the government would have or powerful people would have to lie to you? Do I really have to explain that? Because I feel like you're beyond help at that point. Like, you didn't look at any of our history. If you really need me to explain to you what motivation politicians, other people in power would have to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like you got to do a little bit of your own. I can't do all the lifting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to educate yourself. You got to know
but
this shit,
honestly,
bro.
maybe he was a little too passionate in the interview. Like,
Oh, yeah, he had his acting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know when somebody puts on a little too much fire? That's what I felt like, my opinion, in the interview Howard was doing. So I wasn't surprised to see his name listed in those emails. So what comes next? Well, the crazy part to me is these were, again, half of the files. So
half of them.
The half that they didn't want to show you, ooh, it must be bad. And what it seems like is the Department of Justice is trying to say, look, we gave you half of the files. They're pretty big, right? So just leave us alone. I'm genuinely curious to know if that would work. It seems like people want it all. So let's just wait and see. Side note, if y'all remember, the FBI under Donald Trump came out earlier and said there ain't no names on the file. Y'all just
like, oh
no
my
list.
It's so annoying.
Well,
every time it's without fail. When I
seems that
started
there was
pulling
a
up, I was like,
list,
yep.
Somebody's lying. And to go further, just remember, files mean nothing if people aren't brought to justice. I'm curious to see what happens next. Like, there's this information, but if nobody...
I could understand if it was like, I've been waiting here for 2 minutes. The moment she pulled it, beep. Like, y'all
is pursuing, no government organization is pursuing this information, then what do? We just look at the files, these people did all this, and then we just move on? Well, I think the American people are past that point, and I think I could speak for everyone when I say we demand justice.
Yes.
Now, this is just the first look over people have had over these documents. Remember, it's millions upon millions of pages. So when more information comes out, then I'll be sure to let you know.
Thank you. Not her still honking the horn. Y'all, this was a good video, y'all. I fuck with it.
Factor
if y'all
just
like
solves
the
my
video,
boring dinner problem.
Hey, shut up. If y'all like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new. All we do is chill over here. And yeah. I feel like it was important to do this because this is something we have been asking for a while, and I want to make sure, even if y'all don't have attention, there's as much attention to this as possible. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all comment. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. If y'all disagree with me, if y'all agree with me, this, that, and the third. I love conversation. Let's get it. If y'all like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new, because all we do is chill up here. With that being said, y'all be great. Be safe. Keep getting to that bag. I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace.